Welcome to the Hollywood Secrets Information. In this video, we are diving deep into the unbelievable journeys of 12 most world-famous celebrities who walked away from the spotlight and chose God over global fame. These are emotional, powerful, and life-changing stories that shook Hollywood and surprised millions of fans across the world. From actors who left million-dollar contracts, to musicians who abandoned their glamorous lifestyles, to sports legends who chose faith over fortune, each story carries a powerful message that you'll discover what their first beliefs were, what changed inside them, the exact reasons they left Hollywood, and how their decision affected their careers, families, finances, and future. These are stories Hollywood rarely talks about, but today you're going to hear them all. So make sure you watch until the end for the most inspiring transformations ever seen. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more real Hollywood stories. 1. Dolores Hart was once one of Hollywood's rising stars, known for kissing Elvis Presley on screen and becoming a household name during the Golden Era. Raised in a Catholic family, her early faith was strong, but Hollywood fame slowly distanced her from spiritual roots as she stepped into high-profile movies and glamorous parties. Everything changed when she visited a monastery in 1960, seeking peace from the exhausting demands of her career. What was supposed to be a short retreat turned into a life-altering moment when she felt a calling toward God she could no longer ignore. By 1963, at the height of her success, she shocked Hollywood by abandoning stardom and entering a convent. Her departure had a deep impact on Hollywood producers who had lined up major roles for her, leaving studios scrambling to replace their future star. Her family struggled to understand the decision, believing she was giving up wealth and fame for a life of silence and discipline, but eventually they accepted her spiritual dedication. Hart's finances also changed dramatically. She went from Hollywood earnings to a simple vow of poverty, living only on what the monastery provided. Even decades later, her story continues to challenge Hollywood's image of success because she proved that peace can be more valuable than fame. Today, she remains a symbol of spiritual courage, admired by millions who were inspired by her absolute surrender to faith. 2. Kirk Cameron grew up in a secular household and entered Hollywood as an atheist, becoming one of the biggest teenage heartthrobs through the hit show Growing Pains. Fame came fast, and so did the influence of Hollywood culture, shaping his early beliefs and pushing him further away from faith. But during his teenage years, he experienced a personal spiritual crisis that led him to explore Christianity, a journey that began quietly on set. By the late 1980s, he had fully embraced Christianity, and his newfound beliefs began affecting his choices. He rejected scenes he considered inappropriate and asked for major script changes, surprising producers and frustrating some co-stars. His faith shift had a significant effect on his Hollywood career, dramatically reducing his opportunities as directors felt he no longer fit the industry's demands. Cameron later left mainstream Hollywood entirely, devoting himself to Christian films, ministries, and faith-based activism. His relationships were also reshaped, some friendships faded, while his marriage to Chelsea Noble strengthened through shared belief. Financially, he walked away from big-budget offers to build a career focused on ministry rather than money. Today, Cameron is one of the most influential Christian figures in entertainment, proving that personal conviction can outweigh Hollywood fame and fortune. 3. George Foreman grew up believing in God, but fame, wealth, and championship titles overshadowed his spirituality as he became one of the most feared boxers in the world. After years of intense fighting, he experienced a near-death episode in 1977 that completely transformed his belief system. In that moment, he claimed to have encountered God, which shook him to the core and made him reevaluate everything he had accomplished. Foreman left boxing at the height of his career and became an ordained Christian minister, dedicating his life to preaching and helping poor communities. His decision shocked the sports world and Hollywood producers who were planning films, commercials, and endorsements around his fame. Many partners doubted his future earnings, believing he was abandoning millions, but Foreman remained firm in his mission. His family initially feared financial instability, but later embraced his commitment to spiritual work. Interestingly, his faith-driven comeback to boxing in the 1990s became one of the greatest sports stories ever told, proving God, discipline, and determination could coexist. Foreman later turned to motivational speaking and religious outreach, using his experiences to inspire millions. Hollywood's narrative of him changed from a fierce fighter to a humble servant of God, a transformation that continues to impact fans worldwide. 4. MC Hammer was raised in a Christian family, but drifted away from faith as his hip-hop career skyrocketed, earning millions and dominating the music charts. The overwhelming success, luxury lifestyle, and pressure of fame made him forget the spiritual foundation he grew up with. Everything changed when he faced massive financial collapse in the 1990s and realized his fame could not protect him from personal struggles. During this crisis, Hammer returned to God, spending hours studying scripture and rediscovering his sense of purpose. By the early 2000s, he officially became an ordained minister and shifted his entire identity from entertainer to spiritual leader. His transformation shocked Hollywood and the music industry, especially record labels that had invested heavily in his image. Hammer's renewed faith affected his career, as he refused to participate in certain events or produce music that didn't reflect his spiritual beliefs. His relationships also shifted. Some friends left, while others supported his rebirth as a Christian leader. Financially, he embraced a simpler lifestyle, focusing on family and ministry work. Today, Hammer uses his platform for preaching, motivation, and charitable work, demonstrating that even at the height of fame, faith can call a person toward a higher purpose. 5. Stephen Baldwin was raised Catholic, but never practiced consistently until a profound spiritual awakening after the events of 9/11. At the time, he was deeply involved in Hollywood culture, known for his roles in The Usual Suspects and other successful films. His life began to change when he felt a growing emptiness despite career success, leading him to explore Christianity more seriously. His conversion sparked a complete shift in his lifestyle and values, pushing him to leave Hollywood roles he once embraced. Baldwin eventually became a born-again Christian and dedicated his life to evangelism, preaching across the world. Hollywood producers were surprised and sometimes frustrated because he turned down roles that conflicted with his beliefs, affecting his career trajectory. His relationships also changed. Some industry friends distanced themselves, while his family grew closer through shared faith. Financially, Baldwin faced challenges, including bankruptcy, but he continued trusting his spiritual path despite financial pressure. He later became involved in Christian TV projects, seminars, and global ministry work. Today, he stands as one of Hollywood's most outspoken faith-driven celebrities, choosing conviction over career. 6. Gavin Peacock started life in a nominal Christian home, but pursued fame through professional football, becoming a successful Premier League midfielder and TV sports analyst. During his sports career, he felt a deep void that fame and success couldn't fill, pushing him to re-examine his relationship with God. In the early 2000s, he experienced a powerful spiritual awakening that gradually changed his priorities. By 2006, at the peak of his media career, he shocked fans by announcing he was leaving the BBC to study theology in Canada. This decision stunned the sports world, especially sponsors and TV networks that depended on his influence. His dramatic shift affected his income, career potential, and professional relationships, but Peacock had found a new calling. His family supported him fully, and together they embraced a quieter but spiritually stronger life. Financially, he transitioned from lucrative TV contracts to the modest income of ministry work. Today, Peacock is a respected pastor, author, and mentor, proving that even the brightest careers can be reshaped by faith. 7. Montel Jordan, known for the global hit This Is How We Do It, grew up in a Christian family, but drifted away when fame took over his life. As his music career exploded, he became deeply involved in the Hollywood lifestyle that conflicted with his spiritual beliefs. Personal struggles, marital problems, and emotional exhaustion pushed him to rediscover his faith in the early 2000s. By 2010, Jordan announced he was leaving R&B to become a full-time worship leader and pastor. This decision shocked fans and record labels who were expecting more chart-topping hits. His newfound faith had massive effects on his career as he stopped performing secular music entirely. His marriage healed through faith, and he strengthened relationships with family and church members who supported his transformation. Financially, he walked away from a lucrative music career but found peace in ministry work. Today, Jordan continues to share his testimony globally, inspiring thousands to reconnect with God. 8. Donna Summer was raised in a Christian household, singing in church before becoming the queen of disco. Hollywood fame, however, exposed her to pressures and lifestyles that slowly distanced her from her early faith. After battling anxiety and personal challenges in the 1980s, she experienced a powerful spiritual rebirth that transformed her worldview. She openly embraced Christianity and began rejecting music and performances that didn't align with her beliefs. This shift surprised a record label and changed the direction of her career, leading her to focus more on family and faith. Some fans struggled to understand her transformation, while others admired her courage. Her relationship with her husband strengthened as they both grew spiritually. Financially, she prioritized a wholesome, peaceful life over high-profile concerts. Even after her passing, her legacy continues to include her deep devotion to faith, reminding fans that spirituality can shine brighter than the stage lights. 9. Angus T. Jones was raised in a Christian home, but never practiced deeply until fame overwhelmed him during 2.5 Men. At the height of the show, he began questioning Hollywood's values and felt uncomfortable with the content he was acting in. This led him to explore his faith more seriously, eventually joining a Christian movement that reshaped his beliefs. By 2012, he publicly criticized his own show, urging viewers not to watch it, which shocked producers and fans. His transformation had major effects on Hollywood, as his statements created controversy and forced the studio to rewrite storylines. Jones later left the show entirely to focus on his spiritual growth. His relationships changed, some colleagues were confused, while his family supported his decisions. Financially, he walked away from millions in earnings, choosing peace over fame. Today, he lives a quiet life dedicated to spiritual understanding and personal growth. 10. Sanaa Khan grew up in a Muslim family, but entered the entertainment world at a young age, where fame distanced her from her spiritual values. After years in films, modeling, and reality TV, she began feeling depressed, empty, and disconnected from her faith. In 2020, she experienced a transformational spiritual awakening that pushed her to leave the entertainment industry permanently. She announced her decision publicly, stunning Bollywood, where many believed she had a long career ahead. Her shift had a major impact on her career, as she rejected all future roles and endorsements. Khan married Mufti Anas, a man deeply rooted in Islamic scholarship, and embraced a life aligned with religious principles. Her financial priorities changed. She left high-paying projects for a humble, faith-centered lifestyle. Her story inspired millions of Muslim women who found courage in her decision to choose God over fame. Today, she remains one of the most powerful examples of spiritual transformation in modern celebrity culture. 11. Richard Coles rose to fame in the 1980s as part of the pop duo The Communards, known for energetic hits and widespread popularity. Although he was raised in a Christian environment, fame pulled him into a lifestyle far removed from faith. After years of emotional struggles and personal loss, he rediscovered Christianity through reflection and deep spiritual searching. By the 1990s, Coles left the music world entirely to study theology and eventually became an Anglican priest. His transformation shocked fans who expected him to remain in the entertainment industry. The shift affected his relationships, with some friends drifting away while others supported his spiritual calling. Financially, he exchanged the wealth of music fame for the modest income of church life. Today, he is known not just as a singer, but as a respected religious leader, writer, and broadcaster who continues to inspire millions through faith and compassion. 12. Zaira Wasim rose to fame with the blockbuster Dangal, becoming one of the most celebrated young actresses in the Indian film industry. Raised in a Muslim family, she struggled with balancing fame, personal identity, and spiritual growth. As her career advanced, she felt increasingly distant from her beliefs and overwhelmed by the pressures of the entertainment world. In 2019, she announced she was quitting acting, stating that cinema was taking her away from her religious values. Her departure shocked India and the global entertainment industry, especially because she was predicted to become one of the biggest stars of her generation. Her decision affected her career completely. She turned down all future films and endorsements. Relationships around her shifted. Some admired her boldness, while others criticized her choice. Financially, she stepped away from a future of massive earnings to focus entirely on spiritual development. Today, she leads a quiet, private life dedicated to faith, proving that peace sometimes requires walking away from the loudest stages. Thank you for watching this powerful journey through the lives of celebrities who chose faith over fame. These stories remind us that success is not measured by wealth or spotlight, but by inner peace and purpose. If these transformations inspired you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more real Hollywood stories. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.